I felt like shit the first time a girl looked at my penis and said, "What the fuck is that?" I was like, "What do you mean, what the fuck is that?" She's like, "I've never seen an uncircumcised dick before." I was like, "Wow." I feel like I was like holding my privates now. I'm like, she made me feel like shit. But yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Damn, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, bro.
No
She's like,
tact.
That's
yeah,
wild.
dude. Yeah, that shit made me feel like shit. I was like, oh no, what's wrong with my dick?
All right, well, Pucho.
You said you had one more?
Oh yeah, one more.
No, I'm all out. I went through my list.
All right.
So, Pooch, hit us.
Like Dowie alluded to, piggybacking off of Mateo's Electoral College, my hot take is that pretty much everybody in America should be allowed to vote. Children, prisoners, any immigrants that are here like for long-term stay. So if they got like a green card or work visas, or just like, visas before they get like citizenship, I think all those people should be allowed to vote.
I'm super down with that.
The children one is interesting to me.
Yeah.
What advantage is that like, and what age are we talking about? Are we talking about like you take your baby and you're like your newborn? Tony takes Luke up and then Luke is like, he just lets him choose a button at random.
I think once I don't know, maybe 10 years old or some arbitrary shit like that. I don't know. I think just older. I think 18 is way too old. I think like kids in junior high school and high school, they're living under like we are making all the decisions for them. And some of these people like have say, look at those kids in like those Parkland kids. They knew what reforms they wanted in terms of gun control, in terms of like school security and things like that. Like, but they don't have any say in an election, right? Like it'd be nice if they could put their money, or they could go out and have that say instead of like us, making all the fucking decisions. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's a very similar argument to like immigrants, right? Like a person who comes here and they're working, with a green card or something. Like if someone's like, oh yeah, we want to send back everybody who got a green card, like why shouldn't that person have a say? They're here in this country, they're working, they're paying taxes, and they don't have say. And that seems like fucked up to me. Like I don't see the arbitrary distinction with like, oh, this person has a citizenship now they're totally okay to vote. Like I get the idea. Like you wouldn't want like election season comes around and everybody's like, oh, we're just happening to visit America. And then, all these people from another country start voting against the best interest of Americans, right? Like, of course you wouldn't want a situation like that. That's why I'm saying like, however the government classifies immigrants as long-term stay immigrants or whatever. Like I think they should have some say, voting wise. And prisoners and felons and things like that, to me that's a no-brainer. Like someone who's sitting in a prison cell, like they should have the power to together be like, yo, we're voting for better rights for prisoners. Like those people got no fucking say, especially once they get out. They still don't really get say. They got to fight to get their voting rights back. They got to fight to get their gun rights back. Like, I don't know. It just seems all kinds of fucked up to me.
I agree. I don't think that's I actually agree with the hot take. I think more people should be allowed to vote.
I'd be interested in like what the age is that we decide, like whether it's like 12 or 13 or where that line would be. But
I think middle school would be really beneficial for education wise purposes and stuff like that. I think middle school is like a really good place.
Imagine you look at yourself in middle school though. You give a fuck about a lot of nothing in middle school. I think high school is like, what do you mean? So you're going to make a vote. You're going to be forced to vote. Like you're going to trust little doe you to make a right decision to vote?
It's all about learning. It's all about the process. It's all about getting used to doing these things. And I think, if we start in middle school, I think it's a good place to start teaching about political issues and stuff like that. I think the kids already are like hip to it nowadays.
I think they should start voting in high school, like freshman high school. Like you should learn about it in middle school, but
I think once a girl's old enough that they start going through their menstrual cycle, I think that's the age they got to start voting. Like as soon as you're getting to the age where where now people making rules about your body is controversial. Like maybe that person wants to go on contraceptives or stuff like that. Like if your state's saying nope, no to birth control, I feel like that's the age where people should start having say. All right, which is maybe like 11 or 12. So
some
all right.
some girls start super early. Would you just average it basically? Is that, or would it be like you have to come and show like proof of your first period or something?
Maxi pad.
Let me see your hymen.
Pull out the
You're like
the
you're out here, the
tampon.
hymen police, like Ti and shit.
The one doctor, the only one person can check you is Clifford Harris, the hymen checker.
The hymen checker.
Jesus Christ.
No. I think you just got to average it, like we already do, like with like, when you're like, oh, 21 is the age of drinking. It's like I was drinking younger than that, and I think I was drinking responsibly. So like for me, it could have been younger, but probably on average, 21 is maybe a decent age, or 18 is maybe a decent age, right? But like we basically try to average things like that. Yeah.
I've got a tangent that I'm not sure why it came to mind, but I've seen some shit about this on like Facebook and Twitter. Have y'all seen these dudes that are like real upset that their parents got them circumcised?
I think I know a couple people like that actually.
Yeah,
have we talked about that? I don't know if we have, or if that was an off pod conversation.
That was off. I was off pod, but I've heard of some horror stories, and it's not like it's the parents' fault. It's more like it's the doctor's fault because the doctors botch whatever they're doing, and then niggas be like having a hole in their flesh. Pee be coming out of the hole in all directions and shit like that.
I think that is pretty rare. The conversation was more like is that something you should do? Like, is that something you should consent to? Like, is there an issue there?
Yes,
absolutely. What's the issue?
The issue is that there's no reason to be doing that to your child. No, there isn't.
Cleanliness. There is a reason.
No, that's 100%. If you look, do your research. That's not true.
Yeah. All right. So do you know how difficult?
It's just not true.
What do you mean it's not true?
It's all aesthetics. It's all about the look.
It's not about the look, really though. It's not about the look. It was a
religious thing. Dika for cleanliness is your the skin, the anteater penises. They're just as clean as the.
No, them shits can be dirty if you don't clean them.
They can be. Both could be dirty.
So to avoid that, to avoid that on your child, my nigga. Put it like this. A kid that's not circumcised, if you teach him like, hey, you got to pull back to piss, shake it, you know what I mean? So you don't have any drips left. If they don't do any of these things, they just piss freely and they don't clean around their dickhead, they get bumps and shit. They get like, it wasn't sex ed when I was in school. They'll teach you about this. Like they'll get like white dots or some shit around the tip of their head and it have a stank odor and shit like that. And it's, nigga, that you literally fuck your shit up. I don't know why this nigga smiling right now.
What poor gym teacher had to use the phrase stink odor?
I'm using stink odor. I said that. I don't think that's what they said. I'm just phrasing it how I remember it. But like my son is circumcised. I did it for that purpose alone. Like simple as that. Like
misinformed.
No, I'm not.
Honestly, I think circumcising children is like a form of fucking child abuse. Personally,
it is.
That's the take.
I honestly think so.
That's the take I've heard. I've never put too much thought into it because I don't have a child, so I've never really thought about it.
In certain countries, they even do it to women.
That's beast.
Well, then how is that any different? It's literally the same thing.
If you look it up, it's very fucking different. It is not the same thing.
It's all about aesthetics. It's all about how it's supposed to look. Well, an idea.
No, you need to go do your research.
Yeah. You definitely need to do your research on this one. They removed the lips. They removed the fucking. They removed the clitoris so that they don't feel pleasure anymore. Like it's a major thing about controlling a woman's body, and it's fucking horrifying. The amount of flesh that they're removing is ridiculous. It's a very different situation. I don't disagree.
I don't see how it's different. It's if it's a custom, like that's an American
women
custom.
die. Women die getting the circumcision, like you're putting it. Like
It's
kids ain't
horrible.
dying over it. Well, sure, I'm
mean-
saying it's not the same. Like the problem, they're very different. Like procedures, they have very different long-term effects. They have very different like impacts on people's lives. Like they're not different. I'm sorry, they're not the same. But.
If circumcision were more like they actually lop off the head of your penis or something,
Right.
it might be a little bit more comparable.
Yeah. That's what they're doing to women. They're lopping off the penis and removing the balls. Like that's like it's like what they're doing to women. It's horrible.
In certain places, I've seen different types of things done. I've been with somebody, and that person, they did it to her. They didn't remove the clit, but you could definitely tell, the lips had been something had happened to the lips. Yeah. So I'm not saying like it's not always the same everywhere. You know what I mean? It's not always cutting the clit off and stuff like that. So, it is it's a thing. Like I don't know why it's a thing. I think it's very unhealthy. I don't know. I felt like shit the first time a girl looked at my penis and said, "What the fuck is that?" I was like, "What do you mean, what the fuck is that?" She's like, "I've never seen an uncircumcised dick before." I was like, wow, I feel like I was like holding my privates now. I'm like, she made me feel like shit. But yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, bro.
No
She's
tact.
like,
That's wild.
dude. Yeah, that shit made me feel like shit. I was like, oh no, what's wrong with my dick?
Yeah, if the roles are reversed, it would have been a wrap.
No, come on, yeah.
He would have been attacked. She would have bounced.
I would have been canceled.
Well, Doey definitely bounced too. The second she said that, he was like, "Nope, not having sex with this girl anymore."
Oh no, we definitely did not have sex.
Really? You did shut her down?
I didn't have sex with her. Not that I shut her down. Is that the whole thing was weird. So I was like, I'm good.
Holy shit!
Good on you. I like that.
I would have went for it.
Body shame me. You get none.
I still sucked on her titties though.
Jesus Christ! All right, I'm kind of pissed off that Tony left because he brought up a hot take. I don't even think it was his hot take, but I don't know how we went from electoral college to circumcision. But I find this conversation very interesting. Fucking asshole.
Yeah,
I think I think just like with Tony, I think we all want to do the best for our children. And I think we all want our children to have a healthy life. And if somebody is recommending that you do something, especially if it's coming from the hospital and stuff like that, I think a lot of people go with the flow. Oh, they look, and then the person gives them the cosign, and then they're like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. But I think with that especially, you gotta look up, you got to do kind of your own research. I definitely won't allow it to happen to my son. My mom didn't want it to happen to me because she felt like it was cruel. Mm-hmm. She felt like I just brought this baby into the world and now I'm going to fucking hurt it. She just it did not feel like the right thing. And my dad's circumcised, but my dad wasn't around for either of my mom's births. So he didn't get to make the decision.
I'm circumcised. And I mean, I don't feel strongly about it. But I do think it's I don't know. I think you're making decisions about people's bodies like before they are capable of making those decisions. And we didn't even get my daughter doesn't even have her ears pierced because I'm just like, when she gets older, if she wants earrings, she'll get them. But I'm not gonna pierce her ears just because. Like,
I was gonna say I've heard the same thing about ear piercing also, that it's also like if they can't give consent, if they can't make that decision, why are you gonna do that? And I know in Mexican culture, you pierce the ears young.
Oh yeah, baby. Little
Dominicans pierce the ear day of birth. When that baby comes out, they pierce those ears. Like and yeah, I've gotten a lot of shit from people in my family talking about, oh, if you don't get her earrings, she's gonna look like a boy, and I guess you're okay. And I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I don't care. I'm not gonna make any decisions about my daughter's body that are like changes like that that she can't consent for. So yeah, we haven't pierced her ears. We're not planning on it until she's old enough to say, yo, I want earrings, you know, then I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, I never got earrings, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never wanted them. So if I grew up with the fucking ear piercings, then I'd kind of been like, damn, like, I don't want these fucking earrings. Like, this kind of sucks. Like,
where does that as a parent, where does that line drop? Like, let's say she comes up to you and she's 13 and she's like, I want to pierce my ears. I want 10 holes in each ear. I want my eyebrow pierced. I want my lip. I want my tongue pierced.
Yeah. So in my mind, like, I'm gonna try not to make decisions for her that like would affect her. I guess. Sorry, it's hard to explain, but like if I'm not gonna do inaction to her, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I have it in my mind. So like, I'm not gonna go and pierce her ears. If she wants her piercings, I'm still gonna say no if I don't want her to get her ears pierced, right? That would be making a decision about her body, but I'm not making the action choice, right? I'm choosing inaction or whatever.
Yeah, you're delaying. Like, you're saying, wait till you're 18 or you're not in my household or whatever.
Right. Because in my mind, right, I would come up with some idea. Like if my daughter wanted to get all her fucking face and all these, you know, ears and all this crazy shit, 12 fucking rings on her fucking ears, like I wouldn't want her to do it, both because I find it ugly. And I personally wouldn't. I don't think it's attractive, right? And maybe that's not the decision. The reason why I'm really making the decision, but also it's because societally, people are gonna look at her different, treat her different. It's gonna make getting jobs harder. It's gonna make dealing with other people harder. So I'm gonna be like, make that decision when you're making your lifelong choices. Maybe you're gonna grow out of this like thing, right? But I don't want you to make that choice now without fully understanding like the full ramifications of that decision. Like, so making this choice now when you're 14 might fuck up getting you know, your career aspirations when you're that much older, you know what I mean?
So when she's growing up and she goes to her mom, it was like, yo, mom, I want my nipples pierced and I want a tattoo on my chest. Those are all things that are hidden that can't be seen in plain sight. Is that a no for you as well?
Yeah, I'm not gonna let my kid get any tattoos until they're old enough to understand the decisions that they're making. The nipples piercings, I don't know. I gotta look into like what are I guess the downsides to getting your nipples pierced. But I mean, I don't have a strong opinion about that. Tattoos are so fucking permanent that I'm just like off rip. I'm like, we're gonna wait until you're old enough to understand.
A piercing you could take out.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. You still have like a little scar. Sometimes some people's holes don't close.
You gotta clean it up too. Like Emily, my wife, she's got a piercing, like a belly button piercing or whatever, and her skin rejected it. Like it pushed that shit out. It was weird. Mm-hmm. I've never heard of this in my life until I met her. And she has a scar now. So it's like, what the fuck? I've never heard of your skin doing that, but I guess that's a thing, you know, like got to be careful with these piercings. But I do want to go back to the circumcision.
Yeah, I think it's the same conversation that we're having.
I think that's just child abuse. I think the reason why people do it, online, you can go Google it online, is for the bacteria part of it, like the cleanliness. That's what I was trying to say. Like, it reduces, I want to say erectile. It reduces CTIs, like infection, peanut, and all this, and then it also
UTI, like a urinary
tract infection. Yeah, what did I say?
CTI. I don't know.
My bad. I apologize.
No, it's fine. Just want to make sure. I wanted to know what the hell you're talking about.
And I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, and then also it reduces penile cancer. So this is what the medical studies shown, that it reduces the long-term effect of or the thing of penile cancer, which is, I never knew that. Like when I Googled it back then, before Luca was born, because that was the decision we were making. Literally, it tells that, and it lists like why babies should get it. It'll pop it up, like reduces bacteria that can live under the foreskin, that causes UTIs, and also threefold reduction of the risk of penile cancer among adult men. You know, I'm not a doctor, but this is what the Google WebMD shit, whatever the fuck you want to call it, said.
I didn't know that there was a penis cancer specifically. I guess it makes
didn't
sense.
either. I didn't either. I was shocked. I don't. I still to this day don't believe in it. Like, and that's true, but that's what it says.
Yeah,
I'm
I think it mostly
uncircumcised.
comes down to hygiene, though.
Yeah,
like,
I've never gotten UTIs ever.
Even like
Same.
reducing the risk of penile cancer or whatever. It's like it's related to hygiene. Like someone who cleans their dick and it's uncircumcised has the same chance of getting cancer, like a penile cancer, as someone who is circumcised. Like it's not the circumcision itself that is helping. It's the maybe the additional steps to remain clean, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's a benefit itself too, though. I think, like, for me personally, that's why I made that decision. Me and my wife made that decision for our son. Like, it's just better down the long road for his life. Like, he ain't gotta worry about pulling back and cleaning it and all that, because that is a thing that you gotta learn when you're not circumcised. Like, yo, you gotta pull that fucking helmet back, nigga. You gotta clean it and this and that, and and plus, like, some girls like it, some girls don't. It's all preference too. I mean, like, if you really think about it, your head is way more sensitive if you're not circumcised. So it's like in an adult way of pleasuring, that shit's fantastic. But for people who don't have it, like, I got a friend who says that the doctor botched him and he has no sensitive feelings on his penis head. And he says he people like him, like Doughboy, people, I can't feel nothing or whatever. I need to have it pulled back, or like, it's a preference. Yeah, maybe
it's not a preference. He's saying that the doctor gave him a circumcision and damaged his penis. Like, his parents made that choice, and now he's living with the repercussions of that decision.
Yeah, that's it.
I would rather not make that decision for my kid. I would rather just teach them how to clean their dick and tell them they need to clean their dick the same way. Like, I'm sure if you just take shits all day and never clean your ass, you might get booty hole cancer, right? But, like, we ain't out here cutting people's ass cheeks off now. Like, I don't know. It feels like a weird. It feels like a weird fucking. I don't know, like a weird decision to make. Like I don't know. Like, I don't know. It just seems so bizarre to me.
I dropped a study from Stanford.
What'd you say, Tony?
University. Sorry. Let me just say this here. I dropped it in the chat. It's a entire list of things that, like, an issues with actual circumcision that was done by Stanford recently. So if you want a list of reasons why you shouldn't, then I mean, there's reasons there. You know what I mean?
It's probably the ones that got fucked up that they're talking about, though. Like the ones
that's a thing. You can have excessive foreskin removal. You could have inefficient foreskin removal. There's a lot of things. Like I said, the doctors can botch it. You know what I mean?
I get it. There's a chance when you do things like this that shit can go wrong, but more so nowadays, it's not going to go as wrong as you think. Maybe back then in the days, it probably was.
This is a recent study.
Just a couple years ago, the fucking doctor went to go circumcise some kid and chopped his whole dick off.
Damn.
Like, and then the parents are like, all right, this guy's gonna either grow up with no penis or should we convert it to a vagina? Which is not even to get into that conversation, but it's like, that's such a ridiculous situation to be in because you wanted to circumcise your kid. Like, I feel like I don't know, that's such a ridiculous. I couldn't imagine being that parent in that situation. I
hope
so mad at myself.
I hope that doctor lost his license.
Thank God that didn't happen to my kid.
Sure, I'm just saying, like it's a very very fucked situation for very little benefits, in my opinion.
So infection is an infrequent complication of circumcision when done under sterile conditions. So I guess it's a low infection rate when you do.
So I want to apologize to our listeners because this is probably the biggest derailment in One Up podcast history.
No, actually, I think this is good because Tony's next, right?
Yeah, final showdown.
And I think this goes well into what he wants to go into.
Okay, Doe, thank you for introducing me.
Yeah, Doe's out here just straight trying to lead everybody.
Yeah,
Mateo's like, I want to abolish the Electoral College. Pucho got a controversial opinion about voting, and he could say it right now. It's like, well, let's have this conversation first.
Sorry.
No, I'm just teasing.
We're just-
That was funny.
Yeah.
I'm just a piece
So,
of shit.
You're nothing but a
apparently.
piece of shit.
Just a piece of shit, apparently.
Yeah.
Dale,
So,
Tony.
I have a quick one for y'all, and then I have a more of a serious one for y'all.
What is it? Terminator 1 is better than Terminator 2?
No,
That's a hot take, and I agree with it.
no, I wouldn't say that.
Yo, Terminator 2, bro.
Fuck
Yo,
Judgment
when
Day.
the black guy's holding the detonator and he's like,
The detonator?
The detonator.
What the fuck's a detonator?
It's
The
that thing they shot
detonator.
the Terminator with that made those dents in his body.
Oh, detonator. Oh, I didn't know we had those bullets. That's crazy.
mhm.
The
So-
T-1000 was cool. I remember being horrified of that liquidy thing going through the bars and all that. Cool villain. Cool villain.
do you like the
I just
liquid
think
one?
Terminator 1 was way cooler.
Bro, the
think the-
special effects in Terminator 2 is crazy. When she's having the dream and she's like, and then she blows up and she's on fire. Bro, that shit is so dope.
She turns into a fucking skeleton. Yeah, but then you got the fucking whiny kid. Oh, I don't want to do my homework. And then he's fucking sitting there trying to teach the Terminator how to smile. He's like, "You got to learn to smile, man." It's like, what is this?
Hey, some of those lines are real heartwarming though. What about that line at the end? Now I know why you cry, John Connor.
That is terrible.